I was going to do this video tomorrow when I came home from school, but the Lord told me to do it now. I was having a conversation with a young lady, and she was speaking to me concerning being single. So we were in this deep conversation about being single. And as I got off the phone with her, I began to think about my singleness when I was single, because I was not always married. Single people have got to understand two things. And there is a reason why people are single. There's so many different reasons people are single. But I want to touch upon two specific reasons: settling and standards. Y'all have got to understand the difference between the two. I'm going to help you, and then I'm going to go to bed. A young lady said that I met someone, however, he's not my type. And so she said, he's a nice guy, but he's not my type. I'm going to teach you the difference between not your type, settling, and standards. Put those three formulas together, and if you can get it right, eureka, you're going to have something. When you are dating, and you say to me, I'm not settling, what does that mean? Understand this. Settling means that you refuse to compromise your standards. That means a standard is a way of life. It's how you live, meaning my standards are, he has to work, he has to pay bills, he has to love God, he has to love his mother, he has to not be abusive. He has to be a forward thinker, a planner. Those are the things that make him up character-wise. And so when you say to me, I don't want to lower my standards, that's a good thing, because those are things that are uncompromisable. So stay right there. Watch this. But if you say, I met someone and he's not my type, that means that you met someone that you like, but he or she may not be what you are used to dating. Stay right there. I know a young lady who is very tall, but she married a man who is very, very short with the standards that she needs. And does she overlook him because she's a couple of feet taller? But knowing the both of them, he has so many wonderful attributes and strong standards, so his character makes him look 7 feet tall. Watch this. When you lower your standards, that means no matter what he looks like, you will date a man that doesn't work. That's when you lower your standards. When you lower your standards, it simply means that you are going to go after someone, excuse the terminology, that just got out of jail, that don't ever want to get himself together. So many singles make the mistake of saying he's not my type. And they will have a man that have beautiful standards, or a woman that have beautiful standards, and go get the one that just got out of jail, or on a street corner, or doing everything under the sun, that has no character, no morals, and no standards. That's when you're settling. But when you go after someone that may be shorter, or maybe not what you're accustomed to dating, he may not be as attractive, she may not be as attractive, but has wonderful standards, you're not lowering your standards. I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't have a standard or anything because I'm a married woman. I'm married. Calvin is it for me. Watch this. I'm going to say this. Calvin he's it. So what standard do I have to go by? Because the Lord has connected me with someone. But before Calvin, my girlfriends used to say, Jamila, your men are 6 foot tall and dark skinned. Now when the Lord ordained me to Calvin, I would have lowered my standards if I would have dated a 6 foot tall, dark skinned man that don't want to go to work, that hates his mother, that has no idea what it is to pray. I'm lowering my standards. But God sent me 6 foot with hazel eyes and light skin because he wasn't my type. He was what I needed with the standards that required us to build something together. And that is when you have someone that meets you. So many women and men are missing it because God is saying, this is what you need. But your standards are okay. But what's allowing you to miss what God's saying is what you need is you're looking at the type. God told he told Hosea to marry a harlot. That's what he did. The standards of this woman and the type was shot. But God said, this is what you need. And he finally said, not your will, but God's will. It's your will that has to be done. And it was perfect. Because he didn't look at the fact that the standards in which in his mind he was supposed to have. He didn't look at the fact that she wasn't his type. You understand? And so God could be giving you single somebody beautiful, but you have it confused because you're looking at they're not my type. They're not my type. What is your type? First, as a single person, you have to distinguish what your type is. And once you distinguish what your type is, write it down. Your standards, begin to write them down. That's what you don't compromise. But the part that's not your type, you have to compromise on that. That's not settling. So you mean to tell me that if God sends you a guy that may walk with a limp, but has all the standards there is, you push him aside because he's not your type? Or God may send you a woman that may have a few extra pounds, and you're used to dating Tara Banks. So are you saying you will push her aside because she's not your type, but yet she has the standards? God gives you what you need. It's you single who's saying they're not my type that helps you miss what God could say, this is exactly what you need. And it causes your singleness to prolong itself. And so you have to get over your type. You're not settling. You settle when you lower your standards. That's not your type. Your standards are the things that you need to allow you to live a very productive life in a very godly mannerism, or in a way that you both can build. I understand what Isaiah say. I get it. I preach it all the time. 7 women and 1 man. She could just live the way you want as long as she can have a boyfriend or a man. And so therefore so many women are not lowering their standards. They're not lowering their type. They're lowering their standards. And so you got to know the difference between your standards and your type and settling. That all 3 of them are 3 different attributes. And y'all clumping them all together and you're missing it. And God is saying, I'm giving you what you need. I said it before, Barack Obama, when he married Michelle, the first date, he took her downstairs in the basement and said they're going to feed the homeless. And so she was ordained for him because she had standards. Now, we don't know what Barack Obama's type was because we don't know the history in which he dates. We only know Michelle Obama, First Lady of the Free World. And so, therefore, you have some men who date a woman that have no standards, but it's his type. And then he's stuck. And he's single forever because he's still stuck on his type. And she may not have anything up here, but everything here and here. And so, get over your type and keep your standards. Let those 2 dynamics go. Because God could be saying, okay, I know you used to dating Idris Elba, but I'm going to take the standards of a Bill Gates and I'm going to stick him in Pee Wee Herman, God forbid. And you will look over it because it's not your type. So understand, you need to do some homework on you. The homework on you is, I'm going to make a list of what my standards are. I'm never going to lower them. And then I'm going to make a list of what my type is. Write down the type from everything from the height to the color, the race, religion, and I even go far as to say, what do you want intimately? And those are the things that as you begin to mature, because mature people can deal with some of those things. Mature people can deal with a little bit of roles. Mature people can, he don't have to be black, he could be Asian. As long as he meets the standards, I'm not compromising my standards. And that is where you single people miss it. You say, well, he's not what I'm used to. He's not my type. I'm settling. No, you're not. Your standards, you don't compromise. But your type, you could tweak. God could be giving you exactly what you need. But because you keep looking at the type, you miss what God is saying. This is perfectly matched for you. Had I always stuck on my type, I'd have a problem. But God gave me a beautiful man with hazel eyes that is ordained for me with the standards that I need. But some people say he may or may not be my type. But God said, yes, he is. Me and the God, we agreed and said, you pegged that one. You nailed it. So get over the type of person you're looking for. Men, this is where y'all stay single. You keep going out of type. She has to be a type of woman. And she's not ordained to fix you a sandwich, but she your type. And that's where y'all miss it, because y'all forget about the standards and y'all go for a type. Women do the same thing too. And the biggest thing that women do is they get a man that's not their type and try to push standards in them. And a lot of times he don't have any. And then it becomes a project. And so now you have this beautiful bicep, tricep man walking around your life who is a science project. And you get frustrated and then you want me to pray. When you have taken a man that was your type with no standards and try to change him. No, 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 no. Take the standard and never compromise that. But the type, it's not even compromising. I can live with that. Type, standards. Understand the two dynamics. Compromise, I can't compromise. Understand the dynamics. Write them down so you can see it. And then do yourself a favor. Go out on a date with someone. Go out on a date with someone that's not your type. And come off of that wheel of, he's not my type, but he's not my type, but he's not my type. You know, I saw this thing on Facebook and I'm going to go, where the girl kept overlooking the nerd and kept going after the thug. Overlooking the nerd, going after the thug. The thug went somewhere and the nerd became a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And then she said, I could have had a V8 because she was looking at his type. And so understand, singles, y'all got work to do, because you could possibly be prolonging your singleness, worried about what type you need, instead of looking at the standard in which you're supposed to go by. And if he happens to be a little bit more shorter than you. Now I'm going to bed. Did I just do the finger thing? I can't stand it. I don't know why I did it. Good night, babies.